Hi, I'm Shadow Witch, and welcome to my circle. I have been asked by a lot of people to demonstrate an altar setup, what items are needed, what are not needed, what goes into an altar setup, and so I thought I would do this. This is going to be a two-parter, so welcome to my circle and my new YouTube video channel. Before I get started, again, that was my new theme song. I want to thank Jack Riley Niamh. That was amazing. I'm so happy with it. And my new videographer, Michelle, who is taking a quick break because with very good reason. She just had a new grandbaby, so we're wishing her, her grandchild and daughter the best of everything. And we'll see her back hopefully in a few days. But today you've got me, and we're going to do our best to demonstrate an altar setup, and the tools you need, why and when, and answer hopefully all of your questions. So this is going to be the first part of a two-part video. To start off with, we have some important items. I think the most important for me is the altar pentacle. Even more important, let's back up, the altar. The altar very simply can be anything from your kitchen table to a special table that you designate for your altar, but let's not get crazy about it. It does not have to be given the importance that some churches might give to it. It's just simply a work surface. Now, it could be a kitchen table. I had a pool table one time that we used as the altar. That was great. It was huge. You could put so much on it. But one thing I'm a stickler for is to spell it properly. Altar, A-L-T-A-R. is a surface meant to do magical or spiritual workings. A-L-T-E-R is to change something. So I can see people getting it confused a little bit, because we do often create magic to change things at this place. The first thing we're going to have on our altar, which is very important, is an altar pentacle. Now, if you don't have one, they're not very expensive. They shouldn't be very expensive. This is brass. My first one was in copper. You might find some made out of pewter or silver. Again, not very expensive. Most are about $20. You want to put it with the apex. I always put my apex pointing north. That seems to be very traditional. Some people will point it to the east. Those are the two directions. You find the one that works for you. You place it in the center. Now, if you don't have an altar pentacle, don't freak out, and please don't wait until you've purchased everything and you've found the right tool of everything, because you could be waiting years and never have an opportunity to practice. So find what works for you, and if you don't have an altar pentacle, you can write it out on a piece of paper. That works fine. And we'll talk in part 2 a little bit more about the significance of the altar pentacle, but that goes right in the center. Then you want your 4 elements to be represented. We have earth, air, fire, water. And right here, I have my earth, and that is salt. It can be any kind of salt right out of your cupboard. It doesn't have to be sea salt. A lot of people like sea salt, that's fine. People are getting crazy about the Himalayan pink sea salt. Honestly, I like to, I've got that type of brain. I want to know the origins of everything. I want to know where it comes from, what it's made out of. And Himalayan pink sea salt might be great. It's pretty. The pink is iron oxide, which is rust. That could have some purposes. Iron does have, or steel has a purpose in the circle. This is my, steel athme. We have steel iron here for the candle holders. We have an iron cauldron. It's all for protection. I don't really find it necessary to put rust in my salt, but whatever you like, that's up to you. So we have this here, we have the salts, we have the water, and of course, let me back up one step. The salt represents earth, which is also represented by, you can see behind me, the watchtower of the north, which is green. I have a little malachite stone here also, which is a nice piece of actually known as copper ore. And then in the east, so that represents earth aligning with the salt. In the east, we have a yellow candle for the element of the air, and we have some homemade incense here that I made, and this represents the element of air as soon as it gets burning on the charcoal. I was lighting the charcoal when you first tuned in, and we put that in a little iron cauldron with some sand. This happens to be charcoal that is safe to burn indoors. Please, 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 please do not burn your charcoal that you put in your outdoor grill if you still do that. That is treated with certain chemicals and petroleum-based solvents that are very dangerous to burn in your home, very dangerous to breathe in, and can make you very, very sick. So buying these little cylinders of charcoal, these are actually designed to be burned in hookahs, which are a smoking implement in certain restaurants and bars. So these are safe. You can hold one in a tong, light it with a match or a lighter. They are pure, clean charcoal, only treated with potassium nitrate, which gives it its spark, and it flashes over and it starts to burn. And you'll see here, it's starting to ash over very, very quickly. It's only been a couple of minutes. And that's what we're going to put our incense on. I'll show you right here, just a little bit, and it all starts to, oh, it's beautiful. And, oh, that smells nice. And I'll put this aside because we don't need to get that going. So the incense aligns with the air, which is the yellow candle. Now, of course, the charcoal's already lit, and that aligns with the watchtowers of the south, the red candle. And then the water aligns with the energies of the west, which is a blue candle. I can do another video about the different other colors you could possibly use in the different watchtowers, quarters, corner. There's a lot of different words for them. Here we go. And then my tradition, I use 3 candles in the center. For the maiden is a white candle, the mother is a red candle, and the black candle is a crone, representing the 3 aspects of the goddess, maiden, mother, crone. And that is all I have on my working altar. I did bring this out to remind me to touch on the Sabbats. If you wish to do a shrine or an altar for the Sabbats, or to have an altar for loved ones who have passed on, you can do that. This working altar, we do not have cakes and ale. We do not do a goblet filled with wine or grape juice or something like that, along with a bowl of bread or cake or something like that. That's for our Sabbats. That's not done during a working spell, or whether it's an espat, which is a moon ritual. That's not done. I know some people have kind of mushed things together. The purpose of my channel and the purpose of all that I do is to help educate those that want to learn the way of the witch. I tend to be very traditional, very old-fashioned, and I like to teach people the ways as I was taught, very traditional. And if it works for you, great. And if it doesn't, you want to just throw things together, that's great. I always tell my students, do it the way you want to do it, as long as it manifests. Inevitably, I have a lot of people come to me and it's like, well, I'm doing this, and this, and nothing's manifesting, nothing is happening. Don't make the mistake of thinking, and now Sabbath is a is a ceremony that is the religious aspect of what we do. That's the Wiccan aspect of what we do. But a spell is not. A spell is really nothing to do with Wicca. Spells are found in witchcraft in all cultures and in all races and all creeds and all beliefs. If you light a candle in the Catholic Church, I hate to say it, I'm going to get all kinds of trouble for this, but you're casting a spell. Yeah. Your birthday cake. You've blown candles off on your birthday cake. That's one of the oldest spells, candle spells that we still have today. That comes from the Temple of Artemis in ancient Greece. And the little cakes were moon-shaped cakes, so they would bring those in and put them on little tables along with little tiny candles. So they would ask the goddess Artemis to grant them their wish. They would blow out the candle and eat the little cake. And that was a spell in and of itself, the oldest candle spell that I believe we know of. I could be wrong, there could be older ones, but that's the oldest that I've ever been able to find in antiquity. So what we do spell casting wise is nothing to do with Wicca. Wicca is a religious tradition. Started in the 1950s with Gerald Gardner. As soon as we edit a few videos that Michelle was so lovely to help me with last week, we'll be putting the Wiccan family tree out, introducing you to so many wonderful people that started the path of Wicca. But what we do here is witchcraft. It's magic, and it's found pretty much in every culture, at least the ancestry of every culture we have on Earth. The next part of our video will be explaining all of these pieces and how they work together to help you cast a circle. Now, is there something on the altar you find absolutely necessary? Please let me know in the comments. I would love to read them. And thank you for visiting my circle, and look for part 2 in just a minute. Thanks a lot. Blessings.